My name is Maya. On the drive out, I set my out of. I won't be answering for a week, going offline. It auto-replied to itself, which happens. Then a second ping came through, even with no bars. Received. From caretaker at solacelake.local. I hadn't booked a caretaker. The cabin sat on a quiet lake like a skipped heartbeat. Pines, a small pier, 2 rocking chairs that moved when the wind stood up. No Wi-Fi, no phone service. I promised myself no doom scrolling, just sleep, sunshine, and the stack of paperbacks I lugged around to look like a reader. Inside, a paper guestbook hung on a nail by the door. On the first page, neat block letters said, "Welcome to Solace Lake. Quiet hours, 3:05 to 3:12 a.m. Do not greet your reflection on the dock. If calendar invites appear, decline them. The house will occasionally knock. Do not knock back." Someone had doodled a loon. Underneath, a faint pencil note. If the water says your name, say wrong number, and go inside. I smiled at how hard it tried to be haunted. I put my phone in airplane mode, then off. The last glow of the city faded out of me slowly, like a bruise. That first night, I slept like a person, not like a feed. My sleep ring was still on habit. Around 3 a.m., I woke to knocking, not knuckles on wood, a flat palm on hollow metal, 3 times. Then quiet, I stayed still. Old floorboards know when you change your mind. Somewhere on the lake, a loon called one long laughing note that never decides if it's sad or not. In the morning, I made coffee. It tasted like I'd made it, not like I'd earned it with tips. On the dock, the water was black glass. I held my mug above it and saw the sky and my face and a second me in the water a little late. A breeze came. The delay disappeared. Poetic, I told myself. Sleep bund. By day 3, I did not miss anything. Not group chats, not reels, not red dots. I walked the dirt road. I learned the shape of a certain stump and the sap smell on my fingers. I found a flat rock by the water and read until the words felt honest again. When I came back to the cabin, my phone, often dead, lit up. Not a lock screen. A calendar invite on a white field. Title: Check in, Maya. Organizer: caretaker at solacelake.local. Time: 3:05 to 3:12 a.m. Tonight. Location: dock. Buttons: accept, decline, propose new time. I told myself it was a cached widget. I told myself anything. I pressed decline. The phone went black again and stayed off, like it had been the whole time. I slid it into a drawer and covered it with a tea towel. Near sunset, I took a blanket to the dock. The lake swallowed color the way good film stock does. The surface was so still that when I raised my hand, the reflection raised its hand a beat later. I said, "Hello." Talking to water is allowed on vacation. "Hello," the lake said, 47 seconds later in my exact voice. The careful voice. The do not spook yourself voice. Not an echo, an answer, with a gap you could step through. I waited a minute. "Who are you?" I asked and laughed to make it not true. "Who are you?" the lake asked back, 47 seconds later. My laugh flew off like a bird that had somewhere else to be. I stood up, clamped the blanket under my arm, and walked back up the path, trying not to run. The cabin door felt warm, the way doors get when they have been touched from the other side. Inside, the guestbook had a new page half turned. In pencil, a fresh hand had written, "If the lake answers in your voice, go inside. If it keeps your name, borrow another until morning." At 2:58 a.m., I woke up. I had not set an alarm. The room felt tint thin, the dark like fabric against my face. 3:05. 3 gentle knocks. Like a request, I kept still. Somewhere in the cabin, my dead phone turned itself on. The white field filled the dark like a light box. Title: Check in, Maya. Rescheduled. Time: 3:09 to 3:12 a.m. Buttons: accept, decline, propose new time. Decline, I whispered. A tiny microphone light flickered on a device with no power. The knocks did not repeat. The cabin exhaled. I exhaled with it, the way you breathe with someone who cannot sleep. In the morning, a smear of ash ghosted the guestbook. On the next page, the handwriting was not neat. It was fast, like someone writing before they change their mind. The lake answers late. Use it. Ask future you what you need. Teach past you how to leave. I took the blanket back to the dock, shaky with the stupid thing I was about to try. I set my dead phone down. I looked into the black glass and said, carefully, if you can hear me, wait 47 seconds. Tell me what to do. We sat together. Now me, and later me, whined in the pines. A fly that did not know it would die here after me. Then, my voice came up from the water. Key, under the pier. Do not say your name. At 3:09, pour water on the floor by the door. If it does not soak in, do not open. I gripped the pier rail, reached under until splinters found me. A nail, a metal lip, then the cold oval of a spare key on a wire where no host would hide one. When I looked up, the water's version of me was still bent over, fingers searching where mine had already found. When you are being hunted politely, you start to hate manners. At 3:07, I set a glass of water by the door. 3 soft knocks came, like a child's secret against metal. At 3:09, I poured the water onto the floorboards. It spread like it loved wood. It soaked in easily, like house blood finding a vein. I stared until my eyes watered. Then I saw it, a patch by the threshold, where the water refused to darken the grain. A dry shape, a footprint, waiting for my foot. The phone lit without power. A new invite. Last chance. Title: Check in, Maya. Final. Organizer icon. A gray circle that looked, if you squinted, like my own lock screen in miniature. Buttons: accept, decline. I am not Maya. I do not know who wrote that third button into my panic. Me, earlier. Me later. The house. The caretaker. I pressed. I am not Maya. The knocks stopped. The glass trembled and went still. The dry patch sighed wet, like a held breath let go. Then the cabin said my name. Not from the door, from the sink drain, from the baseboard crack, from the hairline split in a knot in the wall. Everywhere the air was thinner than it should be. It whispered, Maya, polite, like a receptionist with infinite time. I picked up my bag and the key that had waited under the pier. I did not look into the windows. They were not for seeing out. I walked to the car, careful not to step on any shadows that looked like they were waiting for my foot. The engine caught. A calendar alert bloomed on the dead screen, and then bled away. Back in the city, my phone behaved. Bars, banners, trash. One email waited. Thank you for your stay. From caretaker at solacelake.local. No body text. An ICS file attached. Recurring event. Check in, Maya. Yearly. My thumb hovered over delete. The button blinked too. Reschedule? Like it knew my tell. I turned the phone off. I took the ring off. I magneted the torn guestbook page to my fridge. The lake answers late. Use it. I do not go to docks. I do not sit by windows after midnight. I do not answer polite things when they ask for my name. A year later, to the minute, an invite arrived over gray air. Check in, Maya. I declined. My reflection in the black of the powered-off screen declined 47 seconds later.